Hi everyone, it's Brett here from Metropole. Today is part two. Last week we spoke about the things you need to know before you start investing in the Brisbane property market, and today's the follow-up to that, so the next 5 things that we need to focus on. Last week we started with ensuring you know where the jobs are being created. Well, the next thing is ensuring you know where the infrastructure is being created, because not only is that going to create jobs, but it's also going to improve ease and access around the CBD and cut short our travel time. So the first project that is underway and almost completed is the Kingsford Smith Drive upgrade. That's going to run from the CBD out to our fastest growing precinct, which is the airport, with a new second runway and a vast of projects happening out there. There's also the Cross River Rail, which is a subway style project in the inner south. And beyond that, the Brisbane Metro links to some of our southeastern suburbs, as well as our southwestern suburbs. So you're getting a really good access in and out of the CBD and cutting travel times. The next thing to understand is when you're talking about certain suburbs, to understand the areas within those suburbs, because just like where you live, right, there's a really good part of the suburb and there's an average part of the suburb. So we only want to buy in the best parts of the right location. And that's the problem that a lot of people get wrong, particularly FIFO buyers agents and people who come up from interstate that think they're getting a bargain in a certain suburb. I know there's suburbs in Brisbane where we'd probably only buy in about 10% of that suburb because we know the better locations, not the lower lying areas where there's flood water and things like that. So it's really important to have that on the ground perspective. The other thing they don't understand is there's a lot of inner density coming in the next 5 to 10 years in our inner city. So checking for zoning, understanding what the council has planned is very, very important. There's no point buying an A-grade investment property or your dream home only to wake up one morning and you've got 100 or 200 apartments built behind you, because that's going to dramatically impact on the value of your property moving forward. The next one is not a judge of people, it's just a reality of this situation. The rich, unfortunately, are going to get richer. In the next 5 or 7 years, wages growth, inflation are going to be quite low. It's only going to be the people who have multiple streams of income, have high paying jobs where they're getting access to bonuses and payments and additional income, people who have a side job. Those types of people are still going to grow their incomes. They're going to be able to afford to get bigger properties and better properties and renovate and add value to their properties. Unfortunately, the rest are just going to be living paycheck to paycheck with lower rates of buffers, and the wages growth is not going to come for a while now. So it's important you understand that. It's very evident in those Melbourne and Sydney suburbs in those mature markets, but Brisbane, unfortunately, will also start to frame that way as well. And as I just said, Brisbane is not a Melbourne or a Sydney, so don't just assume you can buy anywhere like you can in Melbourne and Sydney and do okay. Particularly, a lot of Melbourne and Sydney people come up and think they can buy 15 or 20 kilometres from Brisbane, but it just doesn't happen. You don't get that level of growth because Brisbane is not a mature market. All the good schools, all the public transport, all the jobs have been created within 10 kilometres. You start to get towards 15 to 20 kilometres, there's no great schools, the incomes start to drop away, and there's an abundant supply of land, and that's a concern. We want to make sure that we've got a low supply but a high demand. So they're the remaining 5 things we want to talk about. If you didn't see the first 5, please recap. Understand these 5 as well. And if you can put the 10 together and really get a clear picture of what you're trying to achieve, it's going to make a huge difference. Thanks for watching.